as a person that is fairly universal and someone who kind of straddles the line between right hand and left hand paths, what do I think about good and evil? What do I think about order and chaos? Now, when I think about the universe, going back to the very beginning, I think that there was only a place of order. Now, a lot of people say, okay, it was only chaos at the beginning, and then things emerged from chaos. But I would argue that in order to create that basic canvas in which chaos could exist, there had to be an ordered consciousness. There had to be an ordered consciousness that could create a platform for anything to exist in. That could create space. That could create time. Even if, well, time became more relative when there were planets and suns afterwards, which a lot of people say emerged out of the chaos. But I think that there had to be something that created the canvas. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that, order is the way to go, that, the stereotypical idea of good, which is order, is the way to go. It just means that I think that order existed first to create a place where anything could exist. Now, when we move to thinking about, do I believe that the gods of peace, light, and many would argue oppression, because their auras, their influence draws people to conform to what they believe, what they say, and what they wish us to do. Whereas the gods, the demons, the kings of chaos, they tend to give us incentives and give us what we want as long as we perform in a certain way for them, for their mission and for what they want to do. They will give us what we want. Now, the gods of order, the spirits of order, the beings of order, they don't seem to always give us exactly what we want. But there's a caveat. The gods of order won't give us what we want if it won't further our progression along the spiritual path that basically relies on the idea of down and up, towards greater expansion, towards greater connection, towards greater unification, being up. Now, the gods of chaos, of you could say demonic gods, kings, spirits, however you believe in them, they will give you exactly what you want a lot of the time, but it won't always be, in the long run, what you thought it would be. Now, they'll give you exactly what you want, but it won't lead you to the place that you want it to lead you, because when you're requesting something at a certain stage, you request from that stage, and then you spend all this time serving this being, a being that you could say is on the chaotic side, and then you eventually get what you wanted. But then either you're to a point where you want something else, or you get what you wanted and it doesn't bring you what you wanted. You get exactly the materialistic or knowledge that you wanted, but it doesn't fulfill the need that you originally desired to be filled. And this is where the gods of order, the gods of light, of peace, tend to beckon us towards what's good for us and not necessarily what we want. Now, when I say the gods of order, of light, and peace, I'm referring to a wide range of beings. I'm trying to be fairly universal. I'm talking about religions, basically all religions, and all magical systems, and on the right-hand and left-hand paths. And I'm Hindu. When I talk about light and peace and order, a lot of people wouldn't think that Kali Ma is a god of light and peace and order, but if you really understand Kali Ma, you would realize that her image, nobody who worships Kali Ma or serves her thinks that she looks like that. That is a purely symbolic image. Usually people see her as a combination of light, and what she brings is peace, learning, and knowledge, and the power to stave off that which inflicts you, that which harms you. Now, that's why she's a god of order and light and peace, a god of light and order and peace. And I name my main god that I worship the source through, but I understand all gods, all spirits, all beings, all atoms, all space, all everything as part of one whole, constantly in flux, constantly interacting with itself. That's why we have this idea of order and chaos, because there's this kind of battle within this grand being that everything is a part of. And this is what we're working out right now in magic, in religion, in spirituality. We're working this out right now. In my attempt right now to explain order and chaos is to show that they don't exist without each other. This push and pull exists only to serve a purpose of resolving certain issues within the grander whole. And in a way that is both order and chaos. It's the order that wants something to be produced from it, and it's the chaos of the actual happenings within this grand petri dish, this infinite petri dish, if you will. And now, it's very hard for me to say you should follow this path or that path. But I do believe that chaos is evil and order is good, but my definition of chaos good, chaos evil, and order good are very different than like the black and white. I think that they both push and pull in a necessary fashion, and they both rely on each other to exist in the first place. And this is the reason why I'm in the middle. So, in conclusion, I began by talking about good and evil, but in conclusion, I like to say it's very complicated. It's very intrinsic to the nature of sentient beings to have this push and pull, and the nature of the universe itself. So think about it. Don't shun the people who believe differently from you. And I hope this was some food for thought. But this has been a video about good and evil, and it lacks a conclusion, just like the multiverse does. But thank you very much for watching, and I hope you all have a great day.